Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to install OctoPrint on a Raspberry Pi and then use that in conjunction with your 3D printer to control your prints and monitor them over the internet. So the first thing we're going to need to do is go to octoprint.org. These links will be in the description, but you want to download Octopi 0.13. So we can just click download right now. The next thing you're going to want is Win32 Disk Imager. This is what we're going to use to write that image we just downloaded onto an SD card to put on the Raspberry Pi. So we can just click download there. Okay, so once you have Win32 Disk Imager installed, you want to open that up, and then you want to also plug in the SD card for your Raspberry Pi into your computer. From there, you want to check out which drive it is labeled as. In my case, it's F. So then you can click on Device, drop-down menu, choose F, and now we can write to that SD card. So then click on this little folder icon and open up the image file we just downloaded from octoprint.org. And right now you can just click write, and because we know we're already writing to this SD card, we don't have to worry about this warning. Just click yes, and it should write to the SD card. Okay, now that you have the image file written to the SD card, you don't want to unplug it just yet. You want to open the File Explorer instead, and then go to that drive. It should be called boot, and then look for a file called octopi.network. So open that up, and this is actually where we're going to set the network configuration for the Raspberry Pi. And so if you want to use Wi-Fi, you want to uncomment any one of these three sections up here. And then if you want to use Ethernet, then you want to uncomment this section down here. And so I have WPA Wi-Fi encryption, so I'm just going to uncomment this section. And you want to, in this section where there are quotes, you want to replace the SSID thing and the password stuff with your actual credentials. So I'll put that in right now. And now we're ready to unplug the SD card and start working on the Raspberry Pi. Okay, now you're ready to connect your Raspberry Pi up to your 3D printer using a USB cable. And once you've done that, you can power the Pi up and then go back to your main computer, and in the browser you can type in octopi.local, and that'll take you to the OctoPrint server running on your Raspberry Pi. On first boot, it will probably prompt you to create a username and password, which you want to do because you don't want just anybody accessing your printer. So it's very important to do that and enable access control on the OctoPrint server. But once you've done that and you've logged in, you should then be able to see your connection status, just state of your printer, as well as the files that you have uploaded. And the options upload and upload to SD are at the bottom. On the right side, you'll see the actual print temperature status, and that'll just change in real time if you have a print running. But that's all shown there. The control tab is something I want to touch on because if you have a camera attached to your printer, it will show up here unless it's not a compatible camera. And I'll include a link to a list of webcams in the description that you can check to make sure you're using a webcam that works with OctoPrint natively. But once you're at this pane, you can actually use your keyboard controls to move your printer back and forth. You know, sometimes it is a bit delayed because the video connection is going over Wi-Fi, but you know, you should eventually see it start moving based on the inputs you're putting in. And the last thing I want to touch on is actually the time lapse, because this is a pretty cool feature. You can set it to be one of two modes, timed or on Z change. I prefer the time mode because then it just seems more consistent to me. But you can set the frame rate and the interval, and it will save a file down here upon print completion, and then you can download it to your computer and view it. So it's really satisfying to watch these. I would encourage trying this out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like and subscribe. I'll have more videos coming out like this in the future.